Stare into outer space. What do you see? Beyond the stars and the moon. What is behind the old curtain today? All right. Uh-oh. It's the night before Thanksgiving. And we're here to talk about a creature from a very famous B movie from 1956. You probably could have guessed by the thumbnail. But the movie is called The She Creature from 1956. Honestly, it's not the greatest B movie of all time. Some may argue that. I like it, but there's others I love. You know what I mean? But the creature design, of course, is everything. And back in the late 1980s, a Don Post employee by the name of Cathy Tharp went on to sculpt her version of the She Creature, which I am telling you is the greatest version ever made. There were other attempts in the 80s, but Cathy's was hands down the best. I'm going to show it to you now because you're probably sick of staring at this stupid thing, but check. This out. Oh my God. Look at that. What's up, baby? The movie is real corny. There's a weirdo hypnotist that's got this thing for this chick, and like he lays her on a table in front of crowds, and he like, you know, does this, he hypnotizes her, and he can like transport her back into this sea creature that she was in a past life from 300 years ago. Then she comes back on the beach, you know, kills people. It's really funny though how a couple of the kill scenes are hilarious. Like she takes the guy on the bed and just throws him against the wall. That is so funny. These people are making out in a car and she throws the whole car off the cliff. That stuff's funny. But the movie is just weird. Like I said, there's other B movies that I freaking love. This one I like. But Paul Blaisdell's creature design is everything. It's so 50s sci-fi. It's so guy in a suit. You know, it's foam construction. But Cathy Tharp nailed it. I mean, this thing is insane. A little backstory on this exact piece. This was done by Cathy in the late 1980s. So I don't know exactly what year Cathy sculpted this piece. I know it was late 80s, which could be 86, 87, 88, you know, whatever. Cathy intended of making 10 copies of this beautiful She Creature. However, the mold gave out and only 8 were produced. So this is one of the original 8. However, many years later, like as of, oh God, when was this? This was in the past, I would say in the past 6 years, roughly. A buddy of mine who owned the second copy from the mold, from the original run, let Cathy borrow it, and she made a new mold of this old 80s She Creature. So she did end up producing, I think, 10 more pieces out of a second mold. I'm guessing those are probably a tiny bit smaller than this one. You lose a little bit of size when you're recasting something like that, but just to have one of those is incredible. This, however, is one of the original 1980s copies. And of course, this is an artifact of the Frankenshrine. Man, I just spent 4 days in the Frankenshrine with Frank's brother. And I know I keep repeating myself, but my God, he just continues to blow us away with this collection, this stuff he's accumulated. I'm driving down there, and I'll show you this mask in a minute. But I'm driving down there, and Frank's brother calls me. He goes, "I just found a whole filing cabinet full of lobby cards." I'm like, oh my God. So I go there and there's just stacks and stacks of lobby cards from all of these great, there's some from just regular old horror films, but some from really obscure horror movies. So I think it might be my duty to show you all of these lobby cards in time over the next 10 years. It's going to take a long time. There's so many. They're all here, so I have to think of an exciting way to do it. Like maybe we'll do a series that pops up once in a while where we go through 5 or 6 lobby card sets. You know, I'll lay them all out. If I got the posters, I'll show you the posters. But I don't know. There's lobby card videos out there, but I think it'd be cool to dig in and show you all 6 cards, all eight cards, I should say. And maybe start something with that. I don't know. There's a lot of content if we do that. But anyway, back to this. Cathy, I'm assuming Cathy painted these. This one's just amazing. Of course, Frank always had wonderful copies of everything people made. So Cathy went all out on the paint job with this one. I've been able to find a couple others on the internet out there. This one looks a little different. Real highly detailed on the coloring on the back of her head. If you haven't had a chance to watch this film, check it out. Like I said, there's others that are better. I do like it though. The poster's incredible. I would love to own the poster for this film. Having this blows my mind. If you're going to watch this, make it a double feature with a movie called Voodoo Woman. This was 1956. Voodoo Woman was 1957. In my opinion, Voodoo Woman is a total ripoff of She Creature, of the She Creature. It's this crazy, it's like a jungle scene, and it's so, I loved it. Like, I love watching that stuff. And they make this Voodoo Woman who looks like a guy in a suit that looks almost like this if it were a Voodoo Woman and not a She Creature from the ocean. So just make it a back-to-back movie night from those 2 recommendations. And, you know, I don't need to hear your comments after you watch them, but I'm sure you'll love them. All right, let's take this down. Let's have a look at Cathy's She Creature. And now, keep in mind, this is not foam filled yet. Once I foam fill and push the mask out, this antenna will pop up more. Like I pushed it in my hand. I pushed my hand aside there, pushed against the mask, and this just, you know, goes right up. So I think with foam filling, I can get the antennas perfect. But this poor girl was covered in that crazy mold. I spent about 2 hours on her last night, just cleaning the shit out of her. And man, she looks great today. So I will turn her. I've got her stuffed with bubble wrap right now, so she's nice and firm. But man, you can see there's a lot of colors in there. Cathy, I believe Cathy had to paint this. If she sculpted it, I'm sure she's the one that probably painted them. But this, she did a wonderful job. A lot of detail all around this whole thing for the sculpture. And there are other attempts out there, like I said, but man, Cathy's is the best. So look at that. So cool. This is so 50s sci-fi. Like that dude, you know. And that dude back there. She's going to look great mixed into this crazy mask room. And I remember going to Frank's, looking at this in his collection, you know, and we would talk about Cathy. And Cathy and Frank were very dear friends. She was very close with Frank all these years. Cathy and Rob both. So this was always special to Frank, having something that Cathy made in his collection, his wonderful collection. She's got antennas. So I was thinking of showing you another girl mask, woman. This is a woman mask that I brought home from Frank's collection. She's got pimples on her face. No, she's got holes in her face. We call her Babs. I have her here in life-size form. Like I have a life-size version of her with a wonderful head on it. But Frank, of course, Frank always had the best stuff, right? I went to Frank's and I saw this on the shelf and I'm like, oh my God, of course you have one of the old copies of this thing. She's down there, laying there looking at me. Her name is Barbara Steele. Hold on, she creature. Now, we're going to talk about you. But first we got to show your sister. So that's her as well. I've had 3 of these now. 3. This is my 3rd one. So this one was made by Mr. Dwayne Whitehead. A blank came into his possession. He made the whole figure, though. He made the whole rib cage from paper mache. I mean, it's freaking amazing. But of course, I said Frank always had the old stuff, the old copies. You know, like there was a mold out there where you could still get a copy of this in recent years. I think Muckle Bones may still have the mold. I mean, the molds, when they're that old, they've seen a lot of action, guys, which means when you get a copy of something like that, it's got battle damage, you know. I remember the one copy I got out of that mold, there's a lot of stuff going on that had to be repaired. And I'm not complaining, like that's the way it is. It's a freaking decades old mold. This, however, this is a beautiful, flawless copy of Barbara Steele, Black Sunday. And guess what? It's pull number 2. It's the second pull. Yeah, I have one, but Frank's is that aged, you know, paint that you just can't fake, you know? I don't think she did not get mold on her at all, okay? She just aged beautifully, thank God. She would have been easy to clean if she got mold. This was a pain in the ass to clean. I mean, every crevice with my little brush and water and paper towels. 2 hours it took. But, man, that Barbara Steele, what I love are the yellowed eyes. Like, they yellowed, the clear yellowed over time, over her teeth. No, she's not a smoker. It just yellowed, okay? Let's bring you over here. By your sister. That's you. It's actually you. But yeah, very cool. Dwayne's is great. It's probably going to stay on the head because this one's foamed. It won't stick on there anyway. And Dwayne, you know, I love Dwayne's. It's going to stay on the statue. But this one is going to go up on the shelf because when I would go to the Frankenshrine, this was one of those iconic pieces that I would see across the room. As soon as I walked in, I would see this head there. And I'm like, man, that is one of the old ones, you know? Most people would not care if you got an old one or a new one, you know? Me, I'm into the old stuff. So, of course, I want the vintage pull. I want the vintage paint up. I had to show you some artifacts of the Frankenshrine tonight that I just brought home. And speaking of artifacts, I brought home some amazing pieces from a sculptor by the name of Jordu Shell. Yes, we're going to go back to the old days, to the Weirdum days. Do you know what Weirdum is? Some of you will know Weirdum. Weirdum is the old days of Jordu Shell's masks, okay? Way back before Death Studios started producing his masks, Jordu sold them himself. That's a whole other video coming, but I'm going to tell you right now, I got the masks here, and they're so cool. And I've been cleaning them and fixing them up, and oh my God, that's going to be a killer video. This will probably be a real short video because it is the night of Thanksgiving. I want to get this up on the internet for you guys so you have something to do in the morning before you eat all your turkey and give thanks. Oh my God, Thanksgiving! That brings us to the new Eli Roth film, which I went and saw last night. Oh my God. I went there thinking like this will be, I don't know. Man, I haven't felt that great leaving a movie theater in a long time. Go see the movie. It's hilarious. Like, it reminded me of watching some crazy, like, late 80s, early 90s horror film, but a real funny one. Like, stuff that makes... We laughed and laughed, and the end credits are amazing. the song in the end credits. I go, as soon as it started, I go, what? And I was like, yeah. So anyway, go see Thanksgiving. I can't believe people out there saying, oh, it sucks. Like, no, it doesn't. I loved it. A lot of people loved it. So, in fact, I scored 2 gigantic Thanksgiving theater standees. The ones you stick your head through. They're like 9 feet tall. Where the f am I going to put those? I don't know. Maybe on top of the house or something. So, anyway, watch Thanksgiving. Let me know what you thought of the movie. I think it's funny as hell. Just go into it, you know. It's not like you're going to watch Poltergeist, you know, something like that. You're watching a fun horror movie about Thanksgiving. No, it doesn't follow the original trailer. Just watch the damn movie. This was a short one, but these 2 pieces are incredible. Had to show you these. I'm working on stuff all day tomorrow. Friday, I'm having a little interview with George Ushell himself, and then I'm going to work on shooting the next video on the Days of Weirdom. Alright? Good night. Happy Thanksgiving. Hey, if you're one of those people that can't stand Thanksgiving's going on tomorrow, who cares? Have a good night, and I'll see you soon.